Greetings, greetings. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy Monday.
Are you going live? Wait, you in the live? Hello? Hey, chat. What? Oh, yeah. I'm audio only. Hey, chat.
Hi. Greetings, greetings. Happy Monday. Hi. Greetings, greetings. Happy Monday. Hi. Greetings, greetings. Happy Monday. Okay, hi. Yes. We're getting feedback there. Okay, hi. Yes. We're getting feedback there. Mama Yuri Mulishani, how are you? Good to see you, Mama. How are you? Mulishani won't say. Mama Yuri Mulishani, how are you? Good to see you, Mama. How are you? Mulishani won't say. Mama Yuri Mulishani, how are you? Good to see you, Mama. How are you? Mulishani won't say. Okay, sound check. I think we are good now. How's everybody? How's everyone? A lot of interesting topics, guys. A lot of interesting topics. Yesterday, we saw the Attorney General come in and had the interview at ZNBC. So that is my main topic, is the Attorney General interview. And then we also have the mockery of the ECL. Akatumbi, a minister, is involved. Apparently, one of the people involved in that video is a minister, provincial minister for Muchinga province, who is also MP for Mbala. He's also involved. And then breaking news, we have a response from Vamakebi Zulu regarding the burial. The appeal is still pending. So I'm going to share and then we get started. Akunakulala, guys. I know people are busy, so you can follow me on YouTube to watch all the videos you have missed. So follow Queen Pumi on YouTube and watch all the videos you have missed. I'll play the music. I'll play some music before so I can share, and then we get started. Any share. We get started in a little bit. So on TikTok, look for Ubuntu TV. Mount Faba Monica, look for Ubuntu. Share. We get started in a little bit. Look for Ubuntu on TV. TikTok, look for Ubuntu TV. Mount Faba Monica, look for Ubuntu. Share. We get started in a All right, so look for Ubuntu TV on TikTok. The other account was suspended. Valinchta reports. The keyboard gangsters reported my main account on TikTok. So Bali just suspend until Thursday. So I'm using my backup TikTok, which is Ubuntu TV. All right, let me play some music before we get started. Narachta share. Akunakulala, akunakulala. Greetings on TikTok. I see we are there on TikTok. Ubuntu TV on TikTok. Ensham, Tostruan. Kafo. Yeah, let me just connect the YouTube Bluetooth. Let me connect my Bluetooth and we'll get started. Connect. Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm just sharing, guys. Mama Yuri. Ubuntu's you and me, is everyone is us. Ubuntu is humanity. Join the Ubuntu family. We're bold, fearless, courageous, and trustworthy news. Queen Pumi on Ubuntu TV, the leading news channel on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm just sharing, we'll get started. Welcome to Ubuntu TV channel for the latest trending news stories. Breaking news, hot topics, and news updates. Ubuntu is you and me, is everyone is us. Ubuntu is humanity. Join the Ubuntu family. We're bold, fearless, courageous, and trustworthy news. Queen Pumi on Ubuntu TV, the leading news channel on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Ubuntu TV, uniting the world because we care. Okay, welcome, Moiseni. We are here, guys. Breaking news is the Attorney General. Sorry, my eyes are tearing up. Thank you for all the compliments. Thank you. So, the breaking news is the interview by the Attorney General. Please share. We are here. Breaking news is the interview that was last night held by the Attorney General, Mr. Izit Mulilo Kabeshi, talking about the burial. And I'm going to play that video and make my comment. And we have the video which went viral of this grown men. One of them is actually a minister. One of them is a minister, provincial minister for Muchinga province, is in the background mocking the body of the former Republican president, Balilanda Katumbi, Kwenyu, and wow, that is something, you know. And I hear there are other videos circulating of UPND cadres celebrating the ruling which was passed in Pretoria on Friday, and they are celebrating, they are dancing, they are mocking the remains of the president Akatumbi Kaleisa, and caught up in the middle of this disgusting and humiliating celebration is a minister, someone who is a current member of parliament and who is appointed by the president to be a provincial minister from Muchinga province. So we are asking the president, the caliber of people you are working with leave much to be desired. And these people will bring you down. If you don't fire this man, this is another nail in your exit coffin. Mwaumfa, this man, whatever his name is, a minister celebrating Akatumbi Kaleisa. Meanwhile, the same government is saying we want to bury ECL with dignity and honor. Where is the dignity and honor in a minister celebrating Kwenyu Akatumbi Kaleisa? Where is the honor and dignity? Where? I'm not going to dwell much on that. I'm going to move on because I already talked about this thing of these embarrassing, ridiculous embarrassments by that video which went viral involving a minister who is actually a provincial minister from Chinga province, and he's also a Mbala MP. So shame on that MP. We hope he can be fired by the president from that ministerial position. We also hope he can be suspended from parliament. So that is number one. Mocking ECL Akatumbi Kaleisa. Is that a dignity? Is that honor? No, it's not. Then we come to a letter which was written by Honorable Makebi Zulu. And I'm going to read that letter. And Honorable Makebi Zulu says, Lungu family will choose private burial if that is what guarantees dignity. Honorable Makebi Zulu, legal counsel and spokesman for the family of the late former Zambian president, has made it clear the family will not compromise on dignity. If private burial is the only way to ensure it, they are prepared to proceed without the government's involvement. Speaking in South Africa's newsroom, Africa, Zulu said the Pretoria High Court's order to hand over the body to the Zambian government for repatriation and state funeral undermines the family rights and disregards their agreed concessions. The family goal is simple, a dignified send-off, Zulu said. That cannot be guaranteed if the very people accused violating his rights in life are put in charge of his burial in death. So, how can the same people who violated Edgar Chagwa Lungu now be the one to bury him? Buloshi. According to our culture, takwaba no kuisa unokusangwa ku umuntu nga mwali patene. Takwaba no kuya kuchiriro chakwe. We have seen how abantu balaboma balabapepekana kumanda. So now how can these same people who violated Edgar Chagwa Lungu's human rights, they are in the forefront to want to bury him? It's the hypocrisy of the highest order. This one here, Ubuntu. There is no sorry after death. Umuntu na afati mwali chita apologize. Afya mchitile fya bupapa kuchimuka landachi mwali chita apologize. Lungu bali chita apologize. Lungu came and apologized to the nation. He was ready to work with anyone. But this government didn't give him a chance. They didn't give him an opportunity to get his medical treatment. That's why Lungu died. So don't come here, you want to make him power so like tefia papa my internet. Ukula tukana ba Lungu mchitumbi, akatumbi kareisa. The next thing they apologize. Actually, I hear that same man at Bigiloni and whatever his name is, he's a culprit in saying stupid things and then he comes to apologize. I got a call yesterday. They told me, ukweba to you ino mulumendo kashika ni Bigiloni naponga ni difficult, whatever his name is, that is record. Kuya mkuchitefia bupubelo ngachitefia bupuba isa tunachita apologize. No. Sorry, keep your apology to yourself. You are grown enough to think before you act. You can't be behaving stupid and apologizing every time. Do you think we are stupid? This man has built a record of going to do stupid things and then later coming to apologize. He didn't even apologize to the Lungu family. Did he? Did he apologize to the Lungu family? So we are saying we are keeping these files, these videos, and come 2026, they will be prosecuted. Now, talking about misbehaving, insulting, cyberbullying, at the weekend, again, more information was revealed that the operation center, the command center, the people who are behind these rogue internet pages abusing opposition and the ECUL family have been exposed. I wrote on my page that these people who are behind insulting opposition and insulting the Lungu people, they have been exposed. We know them. They are big names and they are working kuria kuplot one bomba. They are enjoying presidential immunity. So just know that come 2026, we shall come after you because they are abusing Zambians left, right, and center. Abusing the Lungu family left, right, and center. But they are untouchable because their den is Kuplot 1. I am saying that you media rogue houses, Kashinga Nibena Koswe, Barabalembe Fia Wupuba about the Lungu family, propaganda, lying every day, lying about ECL. Every day they are lying about ECL. They were lying about ECL when he was president until they convinced us to decampaign him. Now, even when he's dead, you are still fabricating lies about ECL. That is a cyber crime. You are all cyber criminals. And your friends who are in the opposition, they are going in, they are being arrested. But when you are enjoying presidential immunity, just know that Milan Dutashiwola will come after you. If you are an administrator of all those rogue pages, we are coming after you. Where is Why Me today? Why Me has disappeared. We don't know if he's dead or alive. Why? Because of cyber crimes. But the people who are committing cyber crimes, who affiliate to the ruling party, they continue to do their crimes and they are sleeping in their beds and their den is being shielded by Plot 1. Yes. ukale sende chitumbi chakwa wiso kwa umuntu onse ali kwata wish why mkoselele chitumbi chaba wish wa munenu chitumbi chakwa wiso. Go and bury your fathers. Ngatawa kwata ba wiso fyo befyo ineba tatabali fonali bashika. I know how it is to lose a father, and we buried my father in dignity. So katumbi kakawishen. Go and bury your fathers. Go and bury your fathers and let these people bury their own father with dignity. What dignity are you talking about when you are the same people who violated his human rights? Number tumushiki akatumbika is a minister uya minister choaleshani na fida mlandu and saying all those stupid things. That's what they say in their cabinet meetings. How can a minister come and say that in camera? How? Because that's how they say in UPND in their cabinet meetings. That is their language. Now by social media to bring the same stupid language, and they think people will start clapping. Only fools will clap to that stupid video. Only fools will clap to that stupid video. Yes. So, Elia Shiyo, Makebi Zulu has said it. I will repeat. The family's goal is simple, a dignified send-off. Zulu said, that cannot be guaranteed if the very people accused of violating his rights in life are put in charge of his burial in death. So, dignified send-off, let these people bury their own father in peace. Wiso fyobe. Ero wiso bengopa chiyulo ele wiso akafuero kaye mshika. Why mkosele poku ya shika wiso wa mnenu? We buried our father in dignity. Why na mukosa pokushika wishuwa munenu? Why? Lolele iwenga walikwata wiso lolela wiso akafuere ukayeshika. Waumfwa. My father died, we gave him a dignified burial. Elo nomba mulena that bomber ni bomber yeni. Yes, bomber ni bomber, but this bomber is not a fair bomber. This bomber is the reason why we have to bury Lungu. He sent Lungu to an early grave. Because of this same bomber. Lungu is in a mortuary because of this same bomber. So how can this same bomber, who are a direct cause for Lungu to be in that morgue, stand there and say muleteni Lungu to Mushiki? So nishi awena Lungu family people tate fipuba. Elo mweba lela that he was a president when he became a president he gave up his rights. No. Zambia is a republic. Zambia does not have a biological child. Zambia tayakwata biological children. We have citizens. And all the citizens of Zambia have got their biological parents and families who have a duty to bury them. Now, if someone becomes a president, they are a state asset. That means that the state has to work with the family to bury that person. The state cannot take over the family rights of burial because a state is not a father, is not a biological father to anyone. Even if I become president today, if I die, my family will have to work with the state. But it is complicated because this state, which is currently in power, the people who are in the corridors of power right now in Zambia, they were enemies, rivals with Lungu. So how can these rivals now say, "Tien tushiki omuntu"? Umuntu otamo male kanya ama benefits tamama alimupoka. Airefuira kuchalo chabene. He left Zambia as an ordinary citizen. So no but you peri mbili tu tumushiki. Well, you are doing too much. I don't know. It to end in tears squeeze ani mwisa takwaba takwaba okutintana pachitumbi chiri chenu takwaba. That's why Lungu bafuire South Africa. So if you nobody Nachuama, it's a blessing in disguise because Lungu died in South Africa. So the law is there. Even if they can rule that the state will go and bury him, now they will appeal. Let them continue appealing. Baka efika na kuna International Criminal Court. Baka efika. South Africa ngafiafirwa. Let them go kunani kani. Let them go. Take the case to Geneva, Switzerland. He was a president there is even more evidence that they don't want to bury him with dignity. A minister chanting Yakatumbi Kaleisa. Is that dignity? A bad legal precedent does not justify justice. I've said this on my page. You cannot say because there was a precedent, Yona precedent was injustice. No, you cannot follow injustice with injustice. If a mistake was made, a lot of people they are saying, what about KK? Yes, that KK thing, there was a split in the family. Some supported to bury him at embassy, some supported to bury him at his village. And within the family, they agreed. KK was on all his benefits. KK died in Zambia. The family took the court took the GRZ took the family to court, but eventually there was an agreement between some of the brothers were on the government side. That's why he was buried in Embassy Park. So don't confuse the two. The issue here kwa KK funeral and ECL funeral, two different things. KK was not enemies, was not at loggerheads with the government. They just did it because it was government thing to do. It's not that KK bali patene na government, the government of the day. They were not enemies. So it's very different. They just wanted him to bury KK at Embassy Park. There was no enmity between KK and the current leadership in Zambia at that time. When it comes to ECL, these two, they are sworn enemies, HH and ECL. They are sworn enemies to a point where he was denied to travel for health care. His benefits were withdrawn. You see how ECL was humiliated, being thrown stones, being insulted left, right, and center. Anyone who wanted to insult ECL was free to insult him without repercussion. Under the watch of this same government now, who is saying, let us give him a dignified burial. What I need myself is let the government respect what the family wishes. Chapwa. They cannot impose themselves. And let me play the video of Bakaveshi before we proceed. Let the government stay away. They have caused enough pain already to this family. And then Bakaveshi, his remarks at that interview yesterday has really brought more pain and anguish. Let me play his video. Hold on.
Ordinary person. I think the courts were not amused. Now, these are issues which we should take seriously. President Lungu, whether he didn't like, whether we liked him, whether we We didn't accept that he was president. He was president for 7 years. And so, we have already a president. We have a value. Every now and then the president goes to parliament and talks about national values. What are our national values? What is the pride of Zambians? To have a president, a former president who is buried outside the country? What pride is that?
There's a concern here that the family still holds the argument that the former president was mistreated by the government before he died. That government showed no care for his welfare while he was alive. Now, to ease tensions, maybe I should ask that. Is it going to be a sign of weakness for government to apologize or for government to engage?
No.
Is there room for that?
No.
Have you discussed these issues in an open manner with the family?
Usually, when somebody dies, good talks are done after burial. Before burial, you can't start talking about how a person was mistreated. You do that after burial. In a Zambian culture, we talk of many things about a person who has left us after burial. If people want to say he was mistreated, by who? And unfortunately, they are referring to the current president. Now, surely, Zambians, do we have short memories? This current president, have we forgotten what he went through? If we go with the tenders of anything that happens, even if monkeys are eating your maize in the field, you refer it to the president as having eaten your maize. If that is true, have we forgotten that the current president had been in police cells about 15 times? There is no president on earth who went through what this current president went through. And since you like assigning everything that happens to a citizen in the country to the president, should we say that it's the late president who was smearing feces, dog feces, in the vehicle which was transferring or transporting the current president to the court there at the subordinate court complex near Chimbokaira? Chimbokaira has tunnels. Why was he being transported using a vehicle? The vehicle smeared with feces. Surely we want to pretend as Zambians that the current president mistreated Edgar Lungu. Let us be fair to this person. Let us be fair. We can't forget. Yes, people will forgive, but surely let's change the narrative. This narrative of saying President Edgar Lungu was mistreated. What was he mistreated about? There are things which we are taken to court.
To court, yes.
Yeah. We are part of the court. We are part of the government. We can't say much, but the mistreatment allegations were taken to the court. The court has not accepted it. Why should we continue debating it outside the court? So to claim that
insoni ebuntu mune umfaba mudala aba as to claim that Edgar Lungu was mistreated. What mistreatment? Mune umfa. Let me rewind up Abaleland.
That government showed no care for his welfare while he was alive. Now, to ease tensions, maybe I should ask that. Is it going to be a sign of weakness for government to apologize or for government to engage?
No.
Is there room for that?
No.
Have you discussed these issues in an open manner with the family?
Usually, when somebody dies, good talks are done after burial. Before burial, you can't start talking up.
Okay, babe pobu fear part. If somebody dies, talks are done after burial. Is somebody amfa for the relatives? No, baba government, busheba government ni family. Eh? The talks of the family is somebody amfa inefo na ishiba. Kulanda kuma family members not imwe. Imwe bali ama enemies aba kwa Lungu. How can you say tukalandanga tuashika? kuzambe takwaba nokusangwa ku barrio yakwa enemy yowe. I'll be responding as he talks.
Talking about how a person was mistreated. You do that after burial. In a Zambian culture, we talk of many things about a person who has left us after burial. If people want to say he was mistreated, by who? And unfortunately, they are referring to the current.
By who? They don't know that Edgar Lungu was mistreated? Mwamona? By who? Edgar Lungu was most humiliated president. Hello, they can't even compare Edgar Lungu and HH because HH was just an opposition president. But the way they treated the ECL, it was disrespect because this man was a president for 7 years. So how can you compare HH in opposition? HH in opposition was just like me because me, I'm a president of a political party. So can I go and compare myself to a president who ruled the country 7 years? A former Republican president? These are the facts we should not confuse. HH in opposition was just like Kasonde Mwenda, Sean Tembo, Given Lubinda, Sakwiwa Sikota, or Hari Kalaba. No, because they always bring up this thing to say HH was mistreated. And comparing HH to ECL. HH in opposition, he was not yet a Republican president. So I don't know, again, let's compare apples to apples. Mamona, they are comparing apples to mangoes. When ECL left, he was a former Republican president who ruled the country for 7 years. But HH in opposition was just a president like any of us. Like 50 presidents that are in Zambia there who have political parties. In Zambia, we have like 50 presidents in opposition. And the HH was one of them when he was in opposition. So that's one point I would like to make clear. And then I also want to play another tape, another extract from that interview, which has really upset all of us. I think of all the things for that interview, the one that is really upsetting is this one. Let me play it. Where, yeah, just hold on. There's
no appeal, okay? Don't talk so much about appeal. There's no appeal. What is there is an application for permission to appeal. Okay? So there's no stay. Yes, there's no stay. There's supposed to be an order to stay. But according to the South African law, when you file an appeal, then you suspend. And these are issues where lawyers sometimes they say, fine, will not proceed. Let's wait. And mind you, it was filed on Friday, about 16 hours. And so we are. There's no appeal. Okay? Don't talk so much about appeal. There's no appeal. What is?
Just hold on, trying to connect the Bluetooth. So yeah, let's connect the Bluetooth so we can be. It can be louder. I can't. Now it's not playing. Ow, Mwandini. My Bluetooth na. Give me a minute, guys.
For permission to appeal. Okay? So there's no stay. To stay, but according to the South African law, when you file an appeal, then you suspend. And these are issues where lawyers sometimes they say, fine, will not proceed. Let's wait. And mind you, it was filed on Friday, about 16 hours. And so we are waiting for Monday. Maybe then the court will be able to give directions as what should happen next. Or the court can decide to dismiss the application.
So they are wishing...
We are ready as government to discuss with the family. We will never ignore the family unless the family just walks out. We will never ignore the family. We will talk to the family. We will be consulting the family. But the family has a right to say, we are not coming, we are not part of it. Then we'll proceed and bury without them. But
you know, for me, this is the thing that disturbs me. Let me play this.
We are ready as government to discuss with the family. We will never ignore the family unless the family just walks out. We will never ignore the family. We will talk to the family. We will be consulting the family. But the family has a right to say, we are not coming, we are not part of it. Then we'll proceed and bury without them. But
Mwaumfa mwebantu. Ababaka b'ekikutu balanda ati, let me play again, mumfwe mwebantu.
We are ready as government to discuss with the family. We will never ignore the family unless the family just walks out. We will never ignore the family. We will talk to the family. We will be consulting the family. But the family has a right to say, we are not coming, we are not part of it. Then we'll proceed and bury without them.
Yeah, kuchiwa seka. So government number, eyaluka family yabalungu. I swear, Mama Elia, government eyaluka family yabalungu. You know? The government mwebantu bakwaresa yaluka family yabalungu. Mwandini Atishani, let me play this again. You know the nerve, pariba nerve but
we are ready as government to discuss with the family. We will never ignore the family unless the family just walks out. We will never ignore the family. We will talk to the family. We will be consulting the family. But the family has a right to say, we are not coming, we are not part of it. Then we'll proceed and bury without them.
Pamuntu wabo, mwaufa mwebena Zambia. Pamuntu wabo, baleba beni, babruru babalungu, balebe bati. You have a right to walk out. Yelonga tamulefa tukamshika. Oh, Jesus. Mama Elia. Eh?
Yeah.
Civil lawyer, the attorney general, right? He's the attorney general.
Where they send them to. I got hundreds of
Imagine.
yeah.
Mwebena Zambia, we are living in the end of times.
We put my favorite in and watch it.
We are living in the end of times. Because how can somebody tell the family, attorney general, a labor family, that they have the right to walk out? Elonga mwachita walk out for tukamshika. Umuntu wenu. Now our wonders will never end. Mwebantu bakwaresa. Ero bali pama, ero pali banevu. Tukabashika balungu ngatamulefwaya. Jesus. I've never seen and I've never heard. And I hope that day will not happen. where they are going to take the body of Lungu and bury it with that family. I pray that we'll never live to see that day. Because takwaba, it is, I don't even know what to say to that. Like takwaba fi. Eh?
But some of you, including wherever Tukana Walungu.
Sorry, guys. Let me turn off the Bluetooth. So, area shiriyo mwe bantu bakwalesa. At we shall bury very boldly. Na bekala no kwikala, very bold. At tukabashika. If the family walks out, tukabashika Walungu. I'm like, seriously? Government have no right to bury Lungu or anyone. The only person government to have a right to bury is an unclaimed body. Tamumwana ma newspaper yonse balafunyama notices. So many bodies have been unclaimed. They give a 30-day notice or 2 weeks katuish. And when that notice elapses, that's when they can go and bury. No one has a right to bury anyone. Now a president who has a family claiming him, how can they go say they will bury him? When there is a whole family of the Lungu family saying we want to bury our relative. Even an ordinary person, if you saw in Ndola town, in Lusaka town, when the city council pick up those deaths, policing abasango muntu nafwa, you will all know what they do. Let me educate you now. Let me educate you. You see in the papers, umuntu ngafwa, they put a notice. Every hospital, Ndola Central Hospital, Kitwe, UTH, any hospital wala become notices. Muma big cities, muma kwati muntu afumine ku town iyi, aya ku town iyi, aya afa kudia. And if those people they are in a mortuary for a long time, the cities, the police in conjunction with the hospital and the city council, they issue a notice to the public. There are so many unclaimed bodies at this hospital. Bapela 30-day notice, na ponga ni 2 weeks, or longer ni 30 days, 60 days. After the 60 days notice, yapita, that's when the council can have a right to go and bury those unclaimed bodies. The government cannot have a right to bury anybody which is claimed. It cannot, just because umuntu ali ni president does not give them the right to bury Walungu. No, when the family are claiming him. It's not a state property, it's not. State property, cheaper. A human being is not a state property, never, it will never be. A human being will never be a state property or asset, cheaper. Yes, Balubinda said the same thing in the case of KK Pyomulelanda, but it was wrong. We cannot continue to ride on injustice. Just because umuntu alipe umuntu na yowa ya mkuipa umuntu wakesa kukaka. We are not going to allow injustice to be a precedent. If something was an injustice, we have to fix it and make sure it is right. If you're Mulelanda Balubinda Balilandire, yes, but he didn't make it right. He did not make it right. A wrong is a wrong. And we can't continue to run the government by vendetta and vengeance just because Balubinda Balandire Finafoto Alafichita. No. And in case Yaba KK, the family agreed. The KK family was split apart. But the thing is, with the Lungu family, they are all standing as one unit. This is the problem with the Lungu family. Because the Lungu, no, this is the difference, not the problem. The difference is that the Lungu family, they are standing as one unit. But the problem, Kuriwa Lungu, Kuriwa KK, was that the family Yaba KK, they were split. Some of the family members were siding with the government, Bambi, family member Badioku. But the advantage or the strength of the Lungu family, they are standing as one. So if the family is standing as one, government cannot go and say we'll bury your loved one. No. The only person the government can bury is unclaimed bodies. And we all know that. Tulamonama newspaper and so many unclaimed bodies, Ndola Central, Kitwe Central, UTH, Chingola. If nobody goes to claim them they can bury. But you cannot go claim Mwabulo Muntu Abe ne Mushike when people are claiming him. My problems. These are problems. I hope I will not see the day to what that man was saying, to say they would take Lungu and bury him against the family wishes. I hope that never happens in Zambia. Oh, I hope it doesn't happen. I'm holding my ear. I hope I don't live to see that day. I just wish these people can back off and let the Lungu family bury their loved one how they want. If they want, they can have a state funeral without the body of ECL. They can have all the ceremonies without the body of ECL, and they can construct a monument pa embassy park padia. Chapwa, end of story. Inga fiakosa shani. Fiakosa pesa mwewantu, fiakose la pesa. ECL has become a prisoner in death.
Yeah.
The last interview I saw of ECL, he was talking on the BBC radio. It is there. I'm a prisoner. I'm under house arrest. And then Bakabeshi Balela, that how was he mistreated? Didn't Bakabeshi see the interviews of ECL complaining, saying they stopped him jogging, they stopped him going abroad for his overseas treatment, they stopped him from socializing, even in church they stopped him. We saw what happened to Kabwe, him in Kabwe, even in Lusaka, the next day the cadres will be there, only to find out Lungu was there. Remember that church service that was at Dunami Center? That's where all these people got their cases from. Where HH were saying they are hiding in churches. We know these things. We are not talking to babies. We are following this case closely. And we know how Lungu was mistreated. So don't come here, Bakabeshi, on ZNBC and start saying how was Lungu mistreated. You are kind of mocking us and insulting us. You are insulting our intelligence. When the whole world knows that ECL was mistreated, there are interviews on BBC where he was telling his story. He was stopped from jogging. He was taken from a plane. And Bakabeshi can come and say that how was he mistreated. Then he starts talking about what HH went through. He was arrested 15 times. Are you here to run the country or to do vengeance on what happened? The man is dead. You cannot do vengeance on a dead man. You are just torturing the family. The man is dead. ECL is dead, is gone. So what they are doing is torturing the family. So let us bring peace in this country. Our government, our Attorney General Bakabeshi, your interview actually did not bring peace, did not set a tone of peace in that interview. You were defensive and preaching vengeance indirectly. And even telling the family that Mukashika Walungu without them. That is not a message of reconciliation. That is not a message of wanting to bury someone with honor and dignity. It is a message of grabbing a body and burying it and by force to humiliate the family and show the whole world that you have the power to do whatever you can over ECL's body. That is what that interview is, a summary. That is my opinion. I can say it. Your interview was just to tell the whole world that you have the power and you can bury ECL without the family. And it is a shame.
And that's their plans all along. You know, that's why they went to bribe the judge. And the judge was judging in the favor of the government. I watched that video. I think I left a voice note on our group. I was not happy. I was disgusted. How can you bury without the family?
Yes, we are saying the state. Let me answer this one. There's this one who is saying all deceased presidents are buried by the state. Yes, the family are not saying don't give him a state funeral. The family are just saying that one person, Hakainde, is the one who should not be there. So why can't Hakainde step aside? Because Hakainde is not the state, it's just the president. It is not a law that a sitting president must attend a burial of a former president. It is not a law, it is optional. Don't confuse the two, it's not the law. Just like if Hakainde choose to stay in his house, there is no law which says all presidents must stay in their official residence. That's why he stays there. So even Lungu, there is no law to say that Hakainde Chilema should be at ECL's burial. There is no such law. But there is a law to be a state funeral. And the one who can preside over the state funeral can be anyone, like the vice president, attorney general, or some of these high-ranking officials, speaker of the assembly. Anyone else can conduct that state funeral. But the problem is you want to say the state funeral is HH. No. It's a two different. Zambia is a state with or without HH. Zambia will live on. That's why this country has been independent for 60 years, and we have had how many presidents? 7 presidents. Hakainde has just ruled Zambia for 4 years. So if the state is actually, the state is a republic which has people who work there. They come and go, just like ECL came and went. His time came and went. Now HH, his time came and his time will go. But this burial is for the state. The state is not HH. HH is just the president now. So if they are telling HH, don't come to this funeral, he must oblige. And people like Attorney General Kabesha should tell HH to say the problem here is they don't want you. It's not that the Lungu family don't want a state funeral. They just don't want HH to be at the funeral. This is where the problem is. But you are all beating about the bush. Mule pita mumbadi. Ili ashimule edisha. Umuliro olipakati mule usha. Mule pita mumbadi. Oh, he wants a state funeral. The state must bury him. Yes, we are not saying the state should not bury him. We are saying in that state, HH is not wanted to be there as head of state. He has a vice president. Why can't a vice president say that? But you are beating about the bush. Won't say mwapa, mweba by UPND. You don't want to face the truth. You are just saying things which to complicate the matter, when this is a very straightforward issue. It is a very straightforward issue. Don't complicate it by trying to say they can be no state funeral without HH. This is what you are saying now. Because the main component to this state funeral is the body of ECL. There can't be a state funeral, ECL ungatafuire. But ECL nafwa, and this state funeral is because of the body of ECL. This is the main person. Is the main thing is that ECL died and the state funeral is for him. But again, it could be HH Navena. But if you send a state funeral, yeah, but no. HH is still alive. It's not his state funeral. When HH dies, he will have his own state funeral. And then when HH dies in Gakwata state funeral, he can say who he wants to be there or not. So, Idia Shopodi Koshen, Wakona Yanga, good to see you. Idia Shopodi Kosere is by HH, but if we become Muchiro, Badi Beba to Muike Sako. Number Abamantoa Palava, Attorney General, and all these people are surrounding by HH. Instead of HH Atawe, let us move forward, stay away. But no, they don't want to tell HH that. They are all saying HH must be there because he's the president, and now we have these problems. They're all unnecessary problems, to my opinion. Because one, HH and ECO were enemies. So I don't know why HH never costed it up to be at this funeral. I wrote a timeline. But you we know, Ichiro Chikachitika, Mubidi ukafika ku airport, from there they go to Shwema, Patrick Kanga Chinja fiance. HH is there to receive the funeral, a private church service, a restriction funeral by invitation. They breached their contract because they wanted to put HH as the main person there. So number Katusho of Yalaya. But my final advice is to the Attorney General. Ngamula pepa na lesa lelo mu closet yenu mu pepe kuli lesa, and let's seek wisdom from God, because mukaleke chalo bakoche imomwe ba ma advisors wa ba HH. You are going to set ichalo chipamuliro. Ichalo mukaleka bakoche because tamuleba ba HH shinka. Jatara manager yo ya muntu kumukalira ansi omwambira ta natulatia nawa tafikosa kubiri ifintu tafikosa kubiri kuikala punch of tawe ililiashi. What can we do? How can we end this? It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that if you give in to the Lungu family demand mwalusa, no, you'll be a bigger person. You'll be the bigger person because one, burial matters are cultural and traditional things between the family and the person who has died. If a person happens to be a head of state, former head of state, then you must work seamlessly with the family to ensure there is a dignified and honorable burial. No, by mwasenda burial yaba Lungu mwashika ba Lungu. What honor and dignity is there? Do you think Lungu will rest in peace? After you grab his body from his family and you bury it by fire, by force. So you think Lungu will rest in peace? I end there. So that is the story, guys. This thing, if they grab the body of Lungu and bury it by fire, by force from the family, Muke Sanjeba, there will be no peace. Edgar Lungu will never rest in peace. That family will be torn apart. And the whole country will be torn apart. As much as we want Lungu to rest in peace in Zambia, we want peace in the most important people involved in this, and that is the Lungu family. Let us give the Lungu family peace, and let us give the widow to bury her husband as she wants, because that is how it is done. So, Ediashi, you're not paid. I'm done, guys. Okay, all right. See you tomorrow. I'll be here again, but yeah. Thank Thank you, ba Peter. I'm actually busy with blocking a banana. Let me just read the comments. Let me read the comments before I go. Thank you, ba Mutuku, for responding to these praise singers. But Felix Mutuku, the problem is you are misunderstanding everything. The Lungu family, they want a state funeral. A state funeral is where I'm a military, whatever, salute, whatever. They are not saying they don't want a state funeral. They are just saying HH must not be there. So if they don't want HH to be there, Muntarena Lumango can be there. Nelly Muti can be there. Where Patrick Kamga can be there. Oloawele Bakabesha can be there. No one is saying they don't want a state funeral. Who told you that? We need to educate you by praising Amadi Omungulu. Omungulu. You always try to change things. Nobody is saying Lungu should not have a state funeral. We all agree. But there is only one person who is not invited to that state funeral, who is HH. That is the problem here. The problem is the HH wants to be at that state funeral. This funeral is for Lungu, is not for HH. So if the family says HH don't come, he must stay away. Why must he force himself now? So don't say here that we don't want a state funeral. Their family, they want a state funeral. The problem is they don't want HH there. That is the problem. And this is why we are wasting all this time, because we don't want to say the truth. Turn around. The family don't want HH to be at the funeral chapel. They didn't say they don't want a state funeral. So that's that, guys. That is that. We'll see you tomorrow. We are waiting. We are waiting. We just hope the judges in South Africa do the right thing. Even if these people, they can withdraw whatever they are doing. But now, why it's very simple. HH, we don't want you at the funeral. Stay away. Why can't he do that? Why can't he stay away, Mwevan? Today, 3 months, umuntu no mushika. Because by HH, wafile basangwa kuchiro cha enemy wabo. Yes. They wanted to bury him in South Africa because the HH was forcing to be at the burial. You don't know the facts. You don't know the reason why they want to bury him in South Africa. The reason they want to bury him in South Africa because the HH has refused to stay away from the funeral. Every reason why they for kushikira of South Africa. Atka ingatwaisa ku Zambia, mukaisa tupoko mubiri mukashiki omuntu wesu. So kanshi tushike fye kuno kwini South Africa. That is the reason why they want to bury in South Africa. It's like you are arguing here, you don't even know the facts. The reason they want to bury in South Africa is because HH has refused to step down in Zambia. So the family said, since ku Zambia kuba HH balefaya kuba ba main ba chief mona, chen tushike fye kuno. That's how now they made a plan B to bury in South Africa. You didn't follow that? Bye-bye. Thank you, Batuku. Have a good day. Yeah. So I am responding to you by Felix Muku. Yeah. Please have your facts right. Ngamwaisa online apamule kwa tama facts. Because mwakula imwenesha mofe with your ignorance. This thing was very simple thing. And Dave honored the agreement. But then no, HH has to be at the funeral, and that's why we are there. HH wants to impose himself to the funeral if the funeral happens in Zambia. Yes, he's the head of state and there's a vice president. You never want to impose yourself. You can't go bury your enemy. He's the head of state, but they were enemies. He's the head of state. And a state, Zambia is a democracy. It's not a kingdom. It's not a kingdom to say everything must happen under the king. No, it's a democracy. That's why you have vice president and all the other people there to keep the systems running. It's not a king where what the king says. No, that is dictatorship and tyranny and autocracy. Did you study political science? You did not. Because if you study political science, you wouldn't even be arguing. There is a reason why these people don't want HH to be at that funeral, and it must be respected. And if you don't want to respect that, then too bad. Because if we don't even know why. We don't know why this family is saying no. But from the social media, the family is saying no because there was a breach of contract for Tuishiwe. But they have maintained their ground. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them to maintain their ground to say, no, we shall bury ECO in South Africa if HH attends. I don't blame them. Na mumona minister waba HH kuliyoko aleshanya kwenyu, akatumbi kwenyu. That is HH's minister. Appointed by HH. So, Elia Shigo, tulipanga twakulalanda. We'll be here, we'll be talking. Me, I stand with the Lungu family and whatever decision they make. Otherwise, thank you guys. Thank you. Mwasambira pochimoba Felix sign. Mwila supporta mungulu. You know? Zambia is a democracy. It's not a kingdom to say kingdom parafie. In a kingdom, everybody, whatever the king says, no, we're a democracy. And there's separation of power. And these people, they had a personal relationship. HH and the ECL had a personal relationship. And it was a bad one. So, if the family says HH ekasangwako kuchiro chandi, we should respect it. Kuzambeta kwaba no kuya kuchiro chacha, umuntu mwadi pusene waya kuchiro chakwe. My problems. Bada kwikata no buroshi. So, good night. See you tomorrow. I'll come early tomorrow.